Hello all there in YouTube land, it's me, the old stuttering movie nerd, uh, the alternate persona of the stuttering toy nerd. Well, I have a movie review for you today, and this one is, now I know it's November 1st, but in my opinion, Halloween's never over until you watch this bad boy. What I have in my hands is the one, the only, the classic John Carpenter's Halloween. Now, that is the Blu-ray. I'm not going to review the Blu-ray too extensively. I can just tell you this. The audio's great. It does kind of fade in and out at times. That could be because of the transfers, or it could be because my sound system's a dinosaur. I don't have yet the money to upgrade it yet. And the picture is fantastic. It's a authorized restoration by Dean Cundy himself. And but there is, because I guess of the film stock that they used, it does get a little grainy at times, like in pitch black situations, but it's only noticeable if you get right close up to the screen like so and ruin your eyes. So, Halloween. Very innovative for its day. It was a cheap, low-budget horror flick that looked like $1,000,000. You had your editing done at MGM, your titles and your opticals, and you had your sounds done at Samuel Goodwin Studios, and those two studios had the best audio and video editings, whatever, in Los Angeles. So even though they were really strapped for cash on what they can do, since they didn't have nothing, they made something out of it. And one of those things was they had a 21-day shooting schedule, and they needed to get some really intricate shots done, and they made use of what was called the Panaglide. It was a Panavision camera strapped to like a harness that a person had to wear. It was about 70 pounds. Yeah, it was really, really heavy. You had to be like, really working out to get these shots. Well, since it's attached to the person, you can move around very swiftly. It looks almost as if the camera is gliding about. And for a horror movie, that was really eerie. And two shots where that works extensively well is the climax and the very beginning of the picture, the opening shot, where you see just the house. It's, after the main titles, after the jack-o'-lantern, after you go through the jack-o'-lantern's eye, and then, it's pitch black, and then when the scene finally fades in, well, actually it's more of a jump cut. It's the Myers house. It's just a house with a lighted interior, and you walk up to it's gliding up to the house, looking through the windows, looking at this girl and her boyfriend that are making out. They decide to go upstairs. The figure decides to go right back, looking up at the front of the house. Light goes out. Big, eerie, creepy score just intensifies the whole thing. Goes right back to the side of the house, crosses over to the back of the house, goes inside, turns on a light, gets out a butcher knife. The tension you can cut with this knife. Added the music, the eerie pacing, just the gliding. It's just a recipe for a masterwork, all in these opening shots. goes through the living room, stops, looks up. Boyfriend comes back downstairs, put on a shirt, saying he'll talk to, whoever's the girls upstairs. He leaves. Then he goes up the stairs, puts on a mask, takes a mask, puts the mask on, and all you see now are just 2 eye holes. Black, just 2 eye holes. Goes into the girl's room. She looks up. Michael! Then, that's it. She's gone. Just stabbing her. Ferociously. Just stabbing her, stabbing her, stabbing her, stabbing her. She's wrenching. She's in pain. She's screaming. And, a little underwhelming. It's more like she's moaning than she's screaming. But then again, the actress who played her was a playmate. Yeah. So, she's also notorious for this sex comedy she did called HOTS. Came out the year after Halloween. She shows a lot of skin in it. But for all the little ones watching, no. So back to Halloween. So the one shot that really makes this terrifying and effective is we're watching all of this happen, yet we're powerless to do anything about it. The audience is just entranced and shocked of what's going on. And then the camera does something really strange and just creepy. It pans to the right, looks up, and you see the hand with the knife just going straight down. Almost as if this character, this shape, is just stabbing and just looking at his arm as it's going down into the body, almost like in a trance. Then after she's dead, she falls down to the ground, and he hightails it out of there. Out of the room, down the stairs, outside, where this car pulls up, a couple pulls, gets out. Once again, in disbelief, Michael opens up, takes off the mask, and it's a 6-year-old boy. A 6-year-old boy. That just sets up the whole mood for the movie. So now it flashes forward 15 years. October 30th, where we're introduced to the psychiatrist, Dr. Sam Loomis. And he's on a crusade. He is trying to keep his patient locked up. But that's not going to happen. It's his review. They're going to take him up to Hardin County for his, I guess it's like a parole hearing. Never really do explain it. Just that he's off to see a judge, and the nurse that's driving him is like, so you never really wanted him to get out? And he says, never, ever, ever. He doesn't call him as a man, he calls him as an it. Just try to figure out what we're dealing with. Do you think you can refer to it as him as you wish? Or as you say so. So as they pull up into the sanitarium, they notice all the inmates are walking around. And as Loomis goes to find out what's wrong, all of a sudden the car is overtaken by Michael Myers. He gets in the car, pushes her out, and bam, he's off. So Sam, his crusade is taking him to Haddonfield. He's got to go to Haddonfield. Because if he knows that that's the only place he's going to go. And he knows once he's there, he's going to pick up where he left off. And unfortunately for him, he's already picked his next victims. She just stopped up at the Myers house to drop off a key because her father is Strode Realty. Laurie Strode just happens to be his next victim. She just stepped on his doorstep. That's crazy. Just imagine if you were, in your own neighborhood and you stepped up on a house doorstep to, drop off someone's mail or, to drop up a newspaper that was in the middle of the street. And that person decides he wants to kill you. Holy crap. And then, he adds 2 more to his list. He adds the sexually promiscuous Linda, and the smart aleck, tough girl, Annie. And he stalks them. And not only does he stalk them, he also stalks a child by the name of Tommy Doyle. And in some really weird shots, we no longer see Michael through his point of view. We're seeing things through different angles where we're next to Michael, we're directly behind Michael, we're amongst the teenagers themselves. John Carpenter, what he does here is just wonderful. He subjects us into the movie. We become an unseen, unheard character in his movie. Name how just name all the movies by hand where that has been done, and if so, effectively. Okay, time's up. That list has to have been pretty narrow. But if you do have any, I would like you to put them down in the comment section below. So, back to the movie. While he's out stalking his victims, playing this little cat and mouse game, that tension just keeps building up with John Carpenter's eerie score. You know, the... And the, you know... You know, those themes. Meanwhile, Loomis is trying to enlist help from the local sheriff, Lee Brackett. Now, no one believes him for a minute. They believe he's just a man. You know, that what he's saying, that, you know, he's watched him for 15 years, staring at a wall, staring past the wall, staring at this night in human impatience. And I met him 15 years ago, no reason left, that I spent 8 years trying to reach him and another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because what I saw behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. And he's right, because once nightfall arrives, game's on. First he stalks Annie, and then through the different music cues and the different point of view shots and just the creepiness of that mask, that humorless, faceless mask that barely resembles a human being, and the way that he blends into the shadows, it makes for a really effective chiller scenes. And he starts killing them one by one, leaving only Lori and the 2 children that she's left to babysit. And it leads up to this confrontation, this inevitable confrontation, where she walks over to the Wallace house where the bloodshed has ensued, walks up them dark, creepy stairs, turns to the left, sees that open doorway that by just a crack, and that whole pale orange day-glow light, and she walks in, and there's her friends strewn up about the room. She's lost it. She's in shock. She's stumbling out of the room. She's frantic. And this is the greatest shot in horror history. This has to be. She's up against the wall, and in this blackened doorway, nothing but black, you see slowly this shape start to materialize out of blue light. And it was so creepy, it was so effective. Even to this day, it is still creepy and effective. But in '78, it sent people running up the aisles. So now it's just her and the shape in the final confrontation. And will Loomis be there to stop him? Will he figure everything out in time? Watch the movie. I give it my highest recommendation, 4 out of 4. I know I haven't done anything about this, 4 out of 4. Yeah, 4 out of 4. So, I want you to go out. If you haven't seen this movie, start with it, watch it. You will be amazed.